If the home you are living in reveals even 3 of these 9 signs, listen carefully. You are not living in an ordinary house. You are standing on sacred ground, on land that ancient rabbis would have recognized instantly as a place where blessings gather and multiply. This is not folklore. This is not superstition. This is ancient Jewish wisdom that has been passed down through generations, hidden in the Kabbalah, whispered in the Talmud, and practiced quietly by families who understood that a home is not just shelter. It is a spiritual vessel, a living sanctuary. And if you recognize these signs in your own home, you must never let it go, because what you have is rarer than you think. Have you ever wondered why some families, generation after generation, seem to live in peace? Their children grow up with purpose. Their health remains strong. Money does not flood in like a lottery win, but it never runs out either. There is always enough, always a little extra. Meanwhile, other families, no matter how hard they work, how many hours they sacrifice, how many homes they move to, searching for something better, still struggle, still feel heavy, still wonder why blessings pass them by. Here is what most people do not understand. In Jewish tradition, a home is not neutral ground. It is either a place where the Shechinah, the divine presence, can dwell, or it is a space where that presence cannot settle. And when you live in a home that welcomes holiness, everything changes. Your mind becomes clearer. Your relationships become gentler. Opportunities appear, not because you chased them, but because you were vibrating at the frequency where they could find you. Before we begin this journey together, I want you to do something powerful right now. Leave a comment below. Not just any comment, a sacred intention. Write something like, "I am living on blessed ground," or "My home is a vessel for divine abundance," or "I choose to stay and let blessings multiply." This is not just engagement. This is a spiritual act. In the Kabbalah, words carry energy. When you declare something with intention, you activate it. So go ahead, type it now, and let us step into this ancient wisdom together. And please, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Because what we share here is not common knowledge. This is the kind of wisdom that changes bloodlines. Now let us walk through the 9 signs. Signs that, according to Jewish mysticism, mark your home as sacred ground. Land that holds you, land that blesses you, land you should never abandon. Number 1. Plants and greenery thrive effortlessly around your home, even in the hardest seasons. You water them occasionally, maybe you forget for a week, and yet they grow. The leaves are vibrant, the stems are strong. There is no disease, no wilting, just life, abundant and green, wrapping itself around your doorway, your windows, your garden. In the Torah, the very first garden was Eden, a place where everything grew without force, where abundance was natural. And the rabbis teach us that when a home sits on spiritually fertile ground, nature responds. It does not struggle, it flourishes, because the earth itself is cooperating with a higher frequency. This is not luck, this is resonance. When your land is aligned with holiness, even the plants feel it. The Talmud speaks of the righteous man as being like a tree planted by streams of water. His leaves do not wither, his fruit comes in season, and the same principle applies to the home of the righteous. When you live with intention, with gratitude, with acts of kindness and charity, the land itself begins to reflect that energy back to you. Kabbalists call this the concept of Shefa, divine flow. When Shefa is present, life does not require force, it simply flows. But here is the part most people miss. If you have certain plants growing near your home, pay close attention. Olive trees, fig trees, grapevines, pomegranate bushes. These are the 7 species mentioned in Deuteronomy, the fruits and plants that represent the land of Israel itself, the land of promise. If any of these grow near you, or if you have planted them and they thrive, you are living in a space that mirrors the energy of the Holy Land. That is not a coincidence, that is a sign. And even if you do not have those specific plants, look for this. Do birds come to rest in your trees? Do bees visit your flowers? In Jewish mysticism, bees represent diligence, community, and the sweetness of Torah. Their presence is a blessing. So if your greenery is alive, lush, and attracts life, know this. You are not just living in a house. You are living in a place where the natural world has given its approval. Number 2. Morning light enters your home from the east, especially near your front door or dining area. In the Torah, God's first act of creation was light. Let there be light, and there was light. And the rabbis teach that this was not just physical light, it was spiritual illumination. the light of consciousness, the light of truth. And in Jewish tradition, the East has always been sacred. When Jews pray, they face east, toward Jerusalem. When the temple stood, its entrance faced east, so the first rays of sunrise would touch the Holy of Holies. So when your home is positioned in such a way that morning sunlight, the purest light of the day, enters from the east and touches the spaces where you gather, where you eat, where you begin your day, that is not random. That is alignment. The Zohar, the foundational text of Kabbalah, teaches that morning light carries a specific spiritual frequency. It is the light of renewal, of potential, of divine mercy being refreshed for a new day. Homes that receive this light are homes where clarity lives, where confusion lifts faster, where arguments do not linger, where children wake up calmer and adults feel more centered. This is not metaphor. Neuroscience confirms that morning sunlight regulates your circadian rhythm, balances serotonin, reduces anxiety, and improves decision-making. But the rabbis knew this thousands of years ago. They called it the light of chesed, the light of loving kindness. If your home has this, treasure it. Each morning, when the light comes in, stand in it for a moment. Close your eyes. Whisper the Modeh Ani, the prayer of gratitude for waking up. Even if you are not religious, the act itself, pausing, breathing, receiving light, resets your energy. You are syncing with the rhythm of creation itself, and that is a sacred gift. Number 3, there is a source of living water near your home, a well that never dries, a natural spring, a stream that flows year-round, or even a bird bath, a small fountain, or a fish pond that you keep clean and circulating. Water, in Jewish thought, is the symbol of Torah, of wisdom, of life itself. The mikvah, the ritual bath, is about spiritual rebirth. And in the Talmud, it is written, just as water gives life to the world, so too does Torah give life to the world. But here is the deeper layer. Water that moves, that flows, that stays clear, represents chesed again, loving kindness in motion. Stagnant water, water that sits and rots, represents gevura, severity, judgment, blockage. So when you have living water, water that circulates, that supports life like fish, like birds coming to drink, you have a sign that energy is moving through your property in a healthy way. You are living in a place where spiritual stagnation cannot take root. The Kabbalists teach that water is the element of chochmah, wisdom. It flows downward, it fills every space, it adapts to every container, and yet it is unstoppable. A home with access to clean, flowing water is a home where wisdom can flow freely, where intuition is strong, where decisions come easier, and most importantly, where wealth does not just arrive and leave, but circulates, sustains, and grows. If you have any kind of water feature on your property, treat it as sacred. Keep it clean. Keep it moving. Add a small stone from a meaningful place, or a coin as a symbolic offering. This is an ancient practice. Jews have been throwing coins into water as acts of prayer and blessing for centuries. You are not worshiping the water. You are honoring the flow. You are acknowledging that abundance, like water, must keep moving to stay alive. Number 4. Whenever you open your windows or step outside, a gentle breeze flows through your home from the north or the west, carrying coolness, freshness, and a sense of ease. In Hebrew, the word for spirit and wind is the same, ruach. It means breath, wind, and spirit all at once. And the ancient rabbis understood that wind is not just air moving, it is energy in motion. It is the breath of the divine moving through the world. In the Kabbalah, the 4 directions correspond to different divine attributes. North represents gevura, discipline and strength. West represents malchut, the physical world, the kingdom. When wind flows through your home from these directions, especially if it feels cool, calming, and refreshing, it means your home is receiving a balanced flow of energy. Not harsh, not stagnant, balanced. Homes that trap air, that feel stuffy, that never get a breeze, are homes where ruach cannot circulate. And when spirit cannot move, neither can opportunity, neither can clarity, neither can healing. But when your home breathes, when you can open a window and feel the air shift, you are living in a place that is spiritually alive. There is a tradition in Jewish homes, especially before Shabbat, to open the windows and let fresh air sweep through the space. This is not just about cleanliness, it is about making room. You are clearing out the energies of the week, the stress, the arguments, the distractions, so that the Shabbat angels, the Malakei HaShalom, can enter and bring peace. So if your home naturally receives this kind of breeze, do not take it for granted. Each time you feel it, pause, take a breath, whisper a thank you. You are living in a space where spirit moves freely. And that is sacred ground. Number 5. You have seen a rainbow arching near your home, especially after a heavy rain or a difficult season. In the Torah, after the flood, God placed a rainbow in the sky as a covenant with Noah, a promise that destruction would not come again, that mercy would always have the final word. And the rabbis teach that every time we see a rainbow, we are seeing a reminder of that covenant. We are being told, even in the middle of chaos, there is hope, there is renewal, there is a path forward. If you have witnessed a rainbow from your home or near your home, especially during a time of personal struggle, financial stress, or emotional heaviness, that is not a random weather event. That is a spiritual message. In Kabbalah, the rainbow represents the Sephirah of Yesod, foundation. It is the bridge between the heavenly and the earthly. It is the sign that what was broken is being repaired, that a new cycle is beginning. Jewish mystics teach that rainbows appear in places where teshuvah, repentance and return, is active, where people are doing the inner work, where healing is happening. It does not mean you are perfect. It means you are willing, and that willingness creates an opening for divine light to enter your life in a new way. So if you have seen a rainbow near your home, take it as a confirmation. You are not stuck. You are not cursed. You are in transition. And transitions, though uncomfortable, are sacred. They are the moments where everything shifts. And your home, the place where you witnessed that sign, is holding space for that shift to complete. Number 6. Birds, especially doves, swallows, or sparrows, build nests around your home and return year after year. In Jewish tradition, birds are seen as messengers between heaven and earth. In the story of Noah, it was a dove that brought back the olive branch, the first sign that life was returning, that dry land was near, that hope was real. The Talmud teaches that the Shechinah, the divine presence, rests in places of peace. And one of the signs of peace is the presence of small, gentle creatures. Birds do not nest in chaotic environments. They do not return to places filled with anger, shouting, or violence. They are too sensitive. They feel the energy of a space before humans even notice it. So if birds choose your home as a nesting place, you are living in a sanctuary, a place where the energy is soft enough, stable enough, safe enough for new life to be born. And in Jewish mysticism, new life is always a sign of blessing. It means the future is being written in your space, that continuity, legacy, and hope are present. The swallow in particular is considered a symbol of loyalty and return. Once it chooses a home, it comes back every spring. That is a sign of rootedness, of spiritual stability. If swallows return to your home, it means the energy there is so strong, so consistent, that even the natural world recognizes it and honors it. Do not disturb the nests. Do not chase the birds away. In Jewish law, there is a mitzvah, a commandment, related to birds. If you find a nest with a mother bird sitting on her eggs, you are commanded to send the mother away before you take the eggs. This teaches compassion. It teaches that even in moments of taking, we must act with kindness. So honor the birds, leave out water, scatter a few seeds. You are hosting angels in disguise. Number 7. You hear the sound of frogs or crickets at night, especially after rain, and their chorus feels calming, almost musical. In the Torah, frogs are mentioned in the story of the plagues in Egypt. And while they were a plague for Pharaoh, a punishment for his cruelty, the rabbis teach that frogs also represent something else: persistence, resilience, the ability to thrive in two worlds, land and water. In Kabbalah, the frog is connected to the element of water and the concept of transformation. It begins as a tadpole, fully aquatic, and transforms into a creature that can live on land. This mirrors the spiritual journey. We start in one state of consciousness, immersed in the material world, and through practice, through growth, we learn to live in both worlds at once, physical and spiritual. When you hear frogs singing near your home, especially at night, it is a sign that transformation is happening around you, that your environment is alive, that the natural cycles of death and rebirth, release and renewal are functioning as they should. And in Jewish mysticism, sound is sacred. The shofar, the ram's horn, is blown to awaken the soul. The frogs, in their own way, are doing the same. They are calling out, reminding you that life is present, that the land is fertile, that you are not alone. And there is something else. In the Talmud, it is taught that the sound of frogs at night is a form of praise. They are singing to the Creator. And when you live in a place where creation itself is singing, you are living in a place of active worship. not worship that requires a building or a ritual, worship that is constant, natural, and full of joy. So the next time you hear them, do not be annoyed. Stop, listen. Let their voices remind you that you are part of something larger, that the earth beneath your home is alive, that the rhythm of life is moving through your space, day and night, without pause. Number 8. Children, even those who do not live with you, are drawn to your home. They feel safe there. They want to play in your yard, sit on your porch, come inside, and stay. In Jewish thought, children represent the future. They represent innocence, potential, and unfiltered truth. And they are also incredibly sensitive to energy. They have not yet learned to ignore their instincts. If a place feels wrong, they will cry, cling, refuse to enter. But if a place feels right, they will run toward it, laugh in it, and never want to leave. The Torah commands us to teach our children diligently, to speak of God's words when we sit in our homes, when we walk by the way, when we lie down, and when we rise up. This means the home is meant to be a place of learning, safety, and transmission, a place where the next generation is shaped. And when children are naturally drawn to your home, it means your space is fulfilling that role, even if you do not have children of your own. There is a teaching in the Talmud that says, the world endures only because of the breath of school children. Their purity, their innocence, their unguarded hearts are what hold the world together. So when they gather near your home, you are being entrusted with something holy. You are being given the opportunity to protect, to nurture, to model goodness. And from a Kabbalistic perspective, children carry what is called Or Yashar, direct light. They have not yet accumulated the layers of ego, fear, and cynicism that adults carry. So they are like spiritual tuning forks. They vibrate at a higher frequency. And when they are drawn to your home, it means your home is vibrating at that same frequency. It means the Shechinah, the divine presence, can rest there. Because wherever innocence is honored, God is present. Take a moment right now. Type in the comments, "My home is a safe place for innocent hearts," or "I welcome the laughter of children." Let that intention be known. Let the universe hear you say it, because when you speak it, you strengthen it. Number 9. You have a mezuzah on your doorpost, and strangers or guests often comment on feeling peaceful or welcome the moment they step inside. The mezuzah is one of the most recognizable symbols of a Jewish home. It contains a scroll with verses from the Shema, the central prayer of Jewish faith. But it is not just a religious object. It is a spiritual technology, a protection, a declaration. The Torah commands us to write these words on the doorposts of our homes and on our gates. And the rabbis teach that the mezuzah does 3 things. First, it reminds everyone who enters that this is a home aligned with divine commandments. Second, it protects the home from negative spiritual forces. And third, it sanctifies the threshold, turning an ordinary doorway into a gateway between the mundane and the holy. But here is what most people do not realize. The mezuzah works even if you are not Jewish, because what it represents is universal. It represents intentionality. It represents the decision to make your home a sacred space, to set it apart, to say, this is not just a building, this is a sanctuary. Okay? And when people feel peace the moment they walk into your home, that is not just good hospitality. That is the energy of the mezuzah radiating. In Kabbalah, it is taught that the mezuzah contains the name Shaddai, one of the names of God, which stands for Shomer Daltot Yisrael, guardian of the doors of Israel. It is a guardian, a protector, a spiritual anchor. If you have a mezuzah and people consistently tell you, "I feel so calm here," or "Your home has such good energy," do not brush it off. That is confirmation. That is the universe, through other people's mouths, telling you that you are living on sacred ground, that your intention has been received, that your home has become what it was always meant to be, a dwelling place for the divine. Now here is what you need to understand. If you have recognized even 3 or 4 of these signs in your own home, you are not living somewhere ordinary. You are living on land that has been chosen, not by you alone, but by something greater. And that is a responsibility. It is also a gift. But there is something else you need to know, something that most people do not realize until it is too late. And this is where everything I have just shared with you can be undone. Because while these 9 signs are powerful indicators of sacred ground, there is one thing, one single mistake that can drain all of that energy, block every blessing, and turn your sanctuary into a place of struggle. And it is something that 87% of people do without even realizing it. You can have the morning light, You can have the living water, you can have the birds nesting and the children laughing and the mezuzah on your door. But if this one thing is present in your home, everything stops. The flow stops. The Shefa stops. The blessings stop. And here is the hardest part. Most people have been taught that this thing is harmless, that it is normal, that it is even necessary. But according to ancient Kabbalah, according to the wisdom passed down quietly from rabbi to student for generations, this is one of the most spiritually dangerous things you can keep in a Jewish home. I am talking about mirrors placed directly across from your front door. You might be thinking, a mirror? That is it? How could a mirror be dangerous? But listen carefully. In Kabbalah, mirrors are not neutral objects. They reflect. And what they reflect is not just physical light. They reflect energy, intention, spiritual flow. When you place a mirror directly across from your front door, you are creating a spiritual barrier. Every time a blessing tries to enter your home, every time an angel of prosperity, of peace, of healing tries to cross your threshold, the mirror reflects it back out. You are literally bouncing blessings away from your home before they can take root. The Zohar teaches that the front door is the mouth of the home. It is where energy enters, where guests enter, where opportunity enters. And in Jewish mysticism, the act of entering a home is sacred. You kiss the mezuzah. You pause. You transition from the outer world to the inner world. But when a mirror is placed there, that transition is disrupted. The energy sees itself and turns back. It cannot settle. It cannot stay. And there is more. Mirrors are associated with the concept of ayin hara, the evil eye. Not because mirrors themselves are evil, but because they amplify focus. They make you hyper-aware of yourself. And when you are constantly seeing yourself, constantly checking your appearance, constantly monitoring how you look, you are living in a state of self-consciousness, of comparison, of ego. And ego is the opposite of humility. And humility is the gateway to blessing. The Talmud teaches, the more possessions, the more worry. And mirrors, especially in the entryway, create a subtle psychological loop. You see yourself leaving. You see yourself returning. You are always watching, always judging. And that energy of judgment, even toward yourself, creates a frequency of lack, of not enough. And when you vibrate at the frequency of not enough, you block the flow of more than enough. So what do? How do you fix this? First, if you have a mirror directly facing your front door, move it. Immediately, you can place it on a sidewall, in a hallway, in a bedroom, anywhere except directly across from the entrance. If moving it is not an option, cover it with a cloth, especially during Shabbat, when the energy of rest and holiness is meant to settle into your home without interference. Second, after you move or cover the mirror, perform a simple cleansing ritual. Take a bowl of water, add a pinch of salt. Salt, in Jewish tradition, represents preservation, protection, and covenant. It is used in every sacrifice in the temple. It is placed on the Shabbat table. It is powerful. Dip your fingers in the salted water and lightly sprinkle it near your doorway. As you do, say out loud or in your heart, I invite blessings to enter and stay. I welcome the Shechinah into this home. May all that is good find its way here and remain. Third, if you want to go deeper, place a small bowl of salt in each corner of your entryway for 72 hours. 72 is a sacred number in Kabbalah. It corresponds to the 72 names of God, hidden in the verses of Exodus. This is not superstition. This is spiritual technology. You are resetting the energy of the space. After 72 hours, take the salt and bury it outside, or dissolve it in running water. Do not throw it in the trash. You are releasing what it absorbed back to the earth. And finally, stand at your doorway. Place your hand on the mezuzah if you have one, or simply place your hand on the doorframe if you do not, and speak your intention. Say, this home is a vessel for divine abundance. I am grateful for this sacred ground. I will honor it. I will protect it. And I will never let it go. You have just walked with me through 9 signs of sacred ground, and 1 critical warning that could undo it all. But here is what I want you to understand. This is not just information. This is activation. The moment you recognize these signs in your own home, something shifts. You stop seeing your house as just walls and furniture. You start seeing it as a living, breathing, spiritual entity, a partner in your journey, a co-creator of your destiny. Your home is not separate from you. In Jewish mysticism, the home is called a Mikdash Me'at, a miniature temple. And just as the temple in Jerusalem was the dwelling place of God's presence on earth, Your home can be a dwelling place of that same presence in your life, but it requires intention, it requires awareness, and it requires you to honor what you have been given. So before you go, I want you to do 3 things. First, leave a comment. Do not just watch and leave. Engage. Type something like, "I am standing on sacred ground," or "I will never abandon this blessing," or "My home is a sanctuary." Let your words activate your reality. Second, like this video and share it. Not because I need the numbers, but because someone you know needs to hear this. Someone is about to sell their home and move, thinking the grass is greener somewhere else. But maybe they are standing on sacred ground and they do not even know it. Send this to them. It might change their life. And third, subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell, because what we do here is not entertainment. It is education. It is transformation. It is the kind of ancient wisdom that most people will never hear because it has been hidden, protected, passed down only in whispers. But you are here, and that is not a coincidence. You were meant to find this. You were meant to hear this. And now that you have a choice. You can ignore it. You can forget it. Or you can act. You can look around your home today, right now, and ask yourself, do I see the signs? Am I living on sacred ground? And if I am, what am I going to do to honor it? Because here is the truth. Blessings do not come to those who are worthy. They come to those who are ready. And readiness is not about perfection. It is about awareness. It is about gratitude. It is about saying, I see what I have been given, and I will not take it for granted. Your home is not just a place to sleep. It is not just a place to eat or store your things. It is the foundation of your entire life. It is where your children learn what love looks like. It is where your marriage either grows or withers. It is where your health either strengthens or declines. It is where your wealth either multiplies or drains away. And it is where your soul either finds rest or remains restless. So choose wisely. If you have found sacred ground, stay. Do not let fear or trends or the pressure to upgrade convince you to leave. Because some things cannot be bought, some things cannot be built, some things can only be recognized. And once you walk away, you may spend the rest of your life searching for what you already had. I will leave you with one final thought. In the Torah, when God gave the land of Israel to the Jewish people, it was not because they earned it. It was because they were chosen for it. And the same is true for your home. If you are living on sacred ground, it is because you were chosen for it. Not randomly, but intentionally. By a force that sees further than you can see, that knows more than you can know. So honor it, protect it, stay, and watch what happens when you stop running and start rooting. When you stop searching and start receiving. When you stop doubting and start believing that maybe, just maybe, you are exactly where you are supposed to be. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And may your home always be a sanctuary, a place of peace, a place of blessing, and a place where the divine presence never leaves.